And here we are. So I'm here today to talk about Gamebadges project and also the final product that is called Gamebadges. So the aim of the talk is to tell you a little bit more about skill mapping and micro-credentials for the game industry. And yeah, here's me with a few of my colleagues from the Metropolia University of Applied Sciences. As mentioned, my name is Gynther, and I've been working with game industry-related organizations and projects over the past 8 or so years. You can read a list of few of my achievements. I'm one of the founding members of We in Games Finland, a non-profit organization dedicated to enhance the diversity, equity, and inclusion in the game industry, especially in Finland. At the moment, I'm also a board member with the Game Makers of Finland. So it's the world's first trade association aimed for the game industry workers. And formerly, I was quite active in IGDA Finland. I was vice chair at one point and a founder of one of our hubs. And if that's not enough, I currently started my master's studies in the game business management side, because business side and understanding that is a really vital skill in the industry. Yeah, and if I have any time off, I play games, as you might guess, and I've listed a few of the ones I'm currently playing. Here you can see the content of the talk. First, I will introduce you to the Gamebadges in general. Then I'll show you the competence map and the competence-based open badges. And hopefully at the end of the speech, I can ensure you why Gamebadges matter. Okay, Gamebadges in a nutshell. We are both a project and an ecosystem. So the aim is to create open badge, competence-based open badge ecosystem that consists of 2 parts. And these 2 parts are competence map. It dissects and visualizes the main skill sets, professions, and competencies that you can find from the game industry. And then the open badges, this is a way to validate the skills that you have related to industry needs. And both of these parts we've developed with the industry experts. I cannot remember the number, but I think I'm not lying if I say we've interviewed or collaborated with some way with around 200 people working in the industry. And as this is a European-wide initiative and project, all of those people are coming from Europe, and actually some of them even from the States. Here you can see a list of our partners. So as mentioned, I work with the Metropolia University of Applied Sciences. We are the coordinators, but we also have partners from Belgium, Czech Republic, and Denmark. And also one other partner from Finland, Neo Games. And because we have a tight link to the game industry side, both the education and the companies, we also have associated partners. So these partners are interested in the initiative and are supporting it and participating in the early adoption of our ecosystem. There are game studios, educational institutions, and other entities. And especially at this point of the project, as we are in the halfway, the game studios are really important for us because the system we are built is also meant for them and to help them in hiring and also in the staff skill mapping. So I think at the end of this month, the first game companies have tested the system. And then to the exciting part, the actual competence map that we published earlier this year. Here is a link if you want to check it. There will be a QR code in the next slide as well. So in this talk, it's almost recommended for you to get your phones out and check what I'm talking about also with your own eyes. So the competence map has been created in cooperation with the game industry, both education and the experts, as I mentioned. And we are updating the map during its lifetime. So even though it's already published, you might notice that there are some points that say that the content will be released later, or it might be that you notice that there's an error somewhere, or you disagree with some of the descriptions. Then you are free to contact us, and we can discuss it and change it if needed. The competence map itself, firstly, there are 9 categories that we feel like are the main categories of the game industry. Audio, art, business, design, marketing, production, programming, quality assurance, and then something that we call industry-wide. And in the industry-wide section, you can find topics that are general for all the other categories. Then underneath the categories, we have over 40 skill sets, and these are professional titles that you can find from the game industry. Something like audio designer, or a game designer, or a programmer. And those include a small description of what this profession is about, and also it shows the individual competencies that are mandatory and optional to be able to work in this role. And then we go to the individual competencies. There's over 140 competencies, and all of these are built in 3 different levels, bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze being the junior or the newly graduated student, silver being the independent professional, even a senior in the company side, and gold, that it's the highest level, the almost unachievable level of gurus. So you can count that we have way over 400 different badges if we take into account of the different levels as well. And this QR code should take you to the site that tells you how to read the map and how to navigate in the site. And as the map is published, I will not be talking more about it, but I will let you know that the competence-based open badges, they are the next step of our project. So they are built using the same information that we've already published at the map. These are digital credentials, ways to validate and certificate your competencies in a smaller scale. They are widely used. And yeah, our badge system, the idea is that it's credible, so that it will help the applicants and also the HR department and people recruiting people, so that they can kind of like find out, for example, from 40 students who do stand out, who are a little bit different. Or if you have been independent developer, it might be that your role in the job description says that you are a programmer, but actually you've been doing some audio, actually you've been at the events and doing some business. So with these credentials, you can widen your CV or your certificate from school. Currently, we are testing these with our associated partners. So the public access to these badges will be available later next year. But in the upcoming slides, there will be a QR code where you can actually go and see one example that we have. The competence-based open badges are a tool to recognize and validate both current and prior learning. So, as mentioned, you might have found some interest alongside your formal studies. You might have attended game jams. You might have worked in other areas than what your actual profession is. But there might be no record, no official record, just your word that yes, I've done audio alongside my game design, or I've done business development alongside my production work. But nobody knows, have you done it correctly, or were you good at it? So with these badges, you can apply any of the 140 different ones. You will be submitting evidence to support the claim that you know what you are doing, and then it will be evaluated by industry expert. And I mentioned already earlier that these are available in bronze, silver, and gold. And because the gold level is aimed for the gurus, we are still kind of like thinking how to execute that. It might be not possible to get them sent in any portfolios or work samples at that stage, so we might need to do something else. But we start with the bronze and silver level and see how it goes. The platform that we are using to publish this is called Open Badge Factory. There are similar platforms to use, but this was our choice. And yeah, I think I mentioned all the points, but maybe not the fact that what do you do when you have the certificate? Yes, you can print it out as a PDF, maybe not that modern way, but you can also include it in the Open Badge passport that the platform offers, or you can link it to your LinkedIn account, for example. Yeah, and now the exciting time. I hope the QR code works. I had little difficulties with this. This is something that hasn't been shown publicly before, and I'm eager to hear your feedback after the talk. So the way that the badges are built, first you get the same information that you can get from the Open Badge, the map that we've published. So it's a description what the badge holder is able to do. This one is for game testing and for the junior level of that. And it lists out different key components that the industry experts have told us that are needed in the field. And I think at this point it might be nice to mention that all of the badges and all of the content that we have at the map are results of huge compromises. Because game industry is so wide and so different, and we are trying to build something that will be beneficial for both the AAA games and the mobile games, for the big companies and for the indies and for the students. So there might be something that you disagree, that no, in my company or in my career things are done differently. But we've tried to find consensus that what would be kind of like the middle way, what would be the general things that people would like to see you able to do in order to be a game tester, for example. Next, the text is so small, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you might be able to see it, but you can see it on your own mobile devices if needed. This is the list of the concrete evidence that you need to send alongside your application to get this badge. We have different solutions for different areas, and also this has been a compromise so that we can kind of like give enough space for students and applicants diverse portfolios. So that the idea is that you don't need to do something specifically for this. This is not a test, so to say, but you can get something out of your existing portfolio, maybe modify it a little bit or add an explanation why it suits for this task, and then send it to evaluation for the industry experts. At the end of the application, there is an AI declaration. That is also something that we are currently working with, like trying to map out what level of AI usage is currently in the game industry. Does programming use it a lot, and should we allow the applicants to use it? And same with art, audio, and other parts. So the text that we have at the moment, it's already being changed. It will take you to a page that have different levels of AI usage, and it will explain you what the level is that you are allowed to use in the said badge. And also we've added a declaration of authorship, so to say, because many of the portfolio samples that the applicant might have might be a result of a teamwork. So we need to find a way to help the applicants use those as well. So there will be a small template that we provide where you can let us know that what was your part in this set task. It might not be applicable to the game testing, but for game design or some programming tasks, for sure those will come up. Yeah, and after you've sent it the evidence, the industry expert will evaluate it. And then we have some questions for the industry expert that they can use as a guideline when they are considering should this badge be issued to this person or not. There are some standard questions. Surprisingly, even in the higher education, there might be situations where people do not read instructions and do not send the material as guided. So the first question is always like, have the applicant been paying attention to the advice that we provide them, and did they do what was asked? Then there are more detailed questions about the content, and then there's the checking of the AI declaration and then the teamwork declaration as well that I haven't yet updated in this version. And currently this is the site that the applicants want to see. They don't know what the help questions for the evaluator are, but we are working on to publish that as well so that the system would be as see-through as possible. And all the applicants are treated the same way in this process. So, why do game badges matter? We believe that together the Competence Map and the open badges form an inclusive, standardized framework for competence recognition in the game industry. And it will be supporting lifelong learning and professional growth. With the lifelong learning, we also mean that we hope that the companies take the system in when they are doing their staff skill mapping. So sometimes when you have one-on-ones or discussions with your employees, they might ask like, what do I need to do to evolve in my career? Or what do I need to do if I want to pivot in a different field? We hope that these materials that we've published, the map especially, could provide a kind of like guide or a pathway for those people as well. And for younger people or new in the industry, they can find ways to know what they need to know and then find the ways to learn those things. I guess that in the industry, people are very, very familiar with good YouTube videos and tutorials provided by the game engines, for example. Yeah, and then we have mapped out 4 key challenges that we have heard that the game industry has and the solutions that the game badges offer. And now I have to admit that I don't remember everything written here and I cannot see the text in there, so I have to turn my back to you. Sorry for that. So the first one, lack of information. It's sometimes difficult to know what are the skills and qualifications that you need to be working in the game industry. Some people might still think that, okay, you are either game designer or you are a programmer, but there are actually quite a lot more involved. So with the map, we offer people reliable and industry-specific source of information that has been built with the industry experts. The second is entering the game industry and finding suitable job opportunities. That is really, really difficult at the moment with the students especially, at least in some countries. We talked about it in previous panel. So how can those individuals find opportunities? Well, by standing out of the crowd, standing out of the big classroom of all the students that have the same diploma as you, they can define the other skills that they have and get a validation of that. And we support both the job seekers and recruiters with this system. Once it's accepted and verified, the industry can trust this and it will help the process of getting new employees. Then the part that I mentioned earlier as well, the staff skill mapping. Game companies need some kind of methods to identify and map skills in their current workforce, as well as the job seekers, as mentioned before as well. And this framework is concrete, measurable, it's already working, it's already available. Currently it's free of charge, so the threshold to try this out and see if it works for you is quite low. And we hope that it inspires people to dive deeper and expand their skill sets as well, kind of like collect them all. And yes, there is over 140 individual badges that you could get. Yeah. And then we believe that without a shared competence framework, multiple overlapping or conflicting recognition systems will emerge. And this might happen despite that we've published this. And we see that it's kind of like taking away something from the benefits of this. We try to provide a standardized competence map for the game industry in Europe to support the education and provide consistent recognition across borders. And as far as I know, no other system is as far along as we have been. The project was initially, the groundwork was done already years ago in another project, and now we've been working for 1.5 years with it, and we still have 1.5 years to go. So I'm pretty sure that at the end this will be the best system that there is, and hopefully we can help with the other people considering doing the same and maybe convince them to use our system instead of creating their own. Then we are approaching the end. List of who can benefit from Gamebadges. Companies have been mentioned already. So Gamebadges hopefully can streamline the recruiting system. In the countries that are currently suffering from the financial crisis that hit the game industry, for every job opening there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of applicants. So hopefully this is something that can be utilized in that as well, to kind of like not only use AI tools when you are ranking the candidates. Maybe this could be a way that you can incorporate to your practices. Maybe you could say that we are looking for bronze level game designer, or we are looking for junior applicant that has bronze level badges, this and this. And if they don't have it, they can get that before applying for the job, and that way stand out of the possible 100 applicants. Educational institutes. The system can hopefully be incorporated in the educational programs. There are need for more game-related programs in some countries, so this might give them a framework what they should teach, what should their curriculum include. Career changers, people pivoting from another field to game industry, this might be the ideal tool to check like what do you already know and what can you bring from the other field, and with minor modification you could prove that yes, I think this will work in the game industry, and now I have a proof that this will work in the game industry. Professionals, you can stand out of the other work applicants, or you can stand out within your own company with the badges. You can show your supervisor that, yes, as I mentioned, I would like to be senior producer, or I would like to pivot from art to production or something like that. And you can show that in my own time, I've done this, this, and this, and that has helped me to build the skills that I need for this role. And maybe they consider doing that with you. And then students and graduates, the main audience of this event. With this, you might be able to discover new skills that you need to enter the game industry, and also get concrete proof that you can actually do what you promised to do. And yeah, that was my talk. I have 10 seconds left, so nicely done with the time. Feel free to contact me directly or follow our social media pages. And yeah, I will be here today and you can come and chat if you want. Thank you.